what do you make of the whole Assin North by-election? What do you really make of it?
It is the people's will against the will of a government and a ruling party and its assigns, wherever that they find themselves. That was the masses versus the government, the masses versus the ruling party, the masses versus assigns and agents of the ruling party. Government is supposed to govern in the interest of the people, the interest of the public. The public have spoken in Assin North, and that is a verdict that the government cannot run away from. It's overwhelming decision that the government was wrong in its decision to even create the by-election in its first place. This by-election is not by God creating a death situation. God didn't send an angel of death to kill an MP for us to go for a by-election like it happened in Kumewu. This by-election was planned by the MPP using their central regional secretary to go to court, and then assisted by the MPP director of legal affairs to go to court to create a by-election. And they created a by-election for Ghanaians to spend money on an election, money which could have been used to provide hospitals, schools, bridges, roads, and all that. Those monies that we need to build a factory so that the youth of Ghana can get employment. That money was rather used to go and create a by-election, conduct a by-election, and which by-election was won by the man that the government doesn't want. So it's a public will against the government. It only means that the public are against the government and its assigns, wherever they find themselves, whether in whatever room they find themselves, to make a decision for a by-election. That's it.
And I understand you want government to probe into an issue. I mean, a monetary issue that is being circulated now about some 14 million being spent on the Assin North by-election. How true is this?
Our intelligence is that the Electoral Commission of Ghana spends about 14 million to conduct by-elections since Kumewu. As a test case, they spent 40 million there, but that was a budget. So we're expecting that they spent a similar amount at Assin North, even though Assin North have higher number of police stations than Kumewu, but we expect that they spend that amount of money. Now, that 14 million cedis by the Electoral Commission is besides the amount of money that the presidency spent on presidential convoy and hotels when they went to the central region for that by-election. It's different from the amount of money spent by the vice president's office on convoy, on hotel, on fuel, on everything. It's different from the amount of money that the Ghana Police Service also spent and that of the Ghana Armed Forces. So it tells you the amount of money that Ghana as a country spent on a by-election that God didn't create for us, but we deliberately created and spent taxpayers' money on it. If Ghana was a company owned by Nana Akufo-Addo's father and inherited to him, I'm not sure he would manage it this way. He would have known that 40 million could do a lot for communities that do not have health facilities, and pregnant women are carried shoulder high to cross bridges, to cross water bodies, rivers, before they can get health centers. So he would have been prudent in the management of the economy.
So Sam George has taken to Parliament. I mean, matters concerning the LGBTQ. He wants government to pass a bill, an anti-LGBTQ law. So what do you make of that one as well? How do you think this whole anti-LGBTQ bill will head to?
The people of Ghana came together to formulate a constitution that our soul, culture, heritage, integrity must be bestowed on our presidency and our parliament and our judiciary for them to protect our setting as a country, our setting as a people of culture, as a people of history, as a people of heritage. Our culture frowns on that practice. Hence, the need for our parliament to sit down, formulate laws to protect our setting. So it is a law in its right place to protect Ghanaian culture, our heritage, our family values, and keep us for who we are. I think that that law, besides what Parliament is doing, should be tabled at the next referendum. I hope that the government will be bold enough to table it for a referendum where the people of Ghana will vote, will queue and vote and decide on whether we want to accept that culture or that law that has been formulated, or we want to throw away our culture and imbibe a new culture that's taking place in the Western world. When we do it by referendum, no parliament, no president, no judiciary can sit one day and claim that and say that it's a bad law and therefore must be expunged from our books. A referendum will make the anti-LGBT law an entrenched provision of the Ghanaian constitution, which will cannot be amended easily, cannot be thrown away easily. And for me, that's the way we must go.
All right, Mr. Suman, don't you think Ghana's economy will be in crisis if this bill is passed? Because most of those countries, we go to them to borrow money, I mean, to sort out things in our country. Don't you think it's going to affect Ghana's economy?
The biggest lender of the Ghanaian economy right now is China. China is not asking Ghana to stop passing an anti-LGBT law. Okay? If the Americans are so minded about our warfare, they would have assisted us long ago. Okay? So if the American government decides to take action against the Speaker of Parliament and the parliamentarians promoting this anti-LGBT law, then Ghana's parliament has the right to also pass laws against American government interests in Ghana, and in place of them, invite the Chinese to take place and continue to assist us to construct roads, build bridges, and all that. That's simple as that. We are not living in a world system controlled only by the American system. We are living in a duopoly where China is a major player, and it's forecasted that China in the next 20 to 30 years will take over the economy of the world as the leading economy. So we are not to be imprisoned by American views, not at all.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Okay, so
You're a bad
that
man.
was Mr. Benjamin Essuman giving his own opinion about the LGBTQ and then aftermath of Assin North.